Are we doing Makeup with Stephanie?
We're doing Makeup with Stephanie, exclusive on YouTube.
I'm doing this one again because it's really cool. I'm so fascinated with it. It's clear and it goes on red. It's awesome. You want to try it, Roy?
Yeah.
Please say no.
Yes. I don't think Makeup with Roy works.
Look what I got. A handmade metal heart. So cute.
Straight from the blacksmith shop.
But if you turn it this way. I still love it either way. Wow, I'm just going to stop now. I said it's a heart. And then I said, but if you turn it this way.
Okay, thank you. We're not on Facebook.
It was funny.
Yes.
Facebook would allow it.
If you can't deal with the humor, you got real problems.
Or if you can't say humor, right?
Nothing like being prepared. As we roll in here, we signed in on YouTube on IE Newswire Daily, and we just joined in on Facebook, IE Newswire Live on a Fast Friday. And this is probably the fastest weekend of.
It's the longest weekend too.
Why is it the longest?
Because it's a 4-day weekend. My kids have today off and Monday.
Yeah, when did they start getting Valentine's Day off?
It's Lincoln's birthday.
Today?
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day?
Yeah. How is that?
That doesn't sound right.
Lincoln's birthday was Wednesday, February 12th.
So
Yes.
they're observing it today then,
Of that.
right?
That's the day we should get off.
This thing is all. Yeah, I was noticing that. But
Yeah, why is that they get?
yeah, I was noticing the schools were up, but why?
And then President's Day is
Yeah, that's
Monday.
what they did. They said President's Day was supposed to be Lincoln's and Washington's combined. Now they're doing Lincoln on that, and what's the President's Day? Would people make? Why do they have to keep changing this stuff? It's absolutely ridiculous. Life is complicated enough for crying out loud.
You can barely keep up.
Yes, without them yanking the holidays around all over the place, so you don't even know which end is up anymore.
I don't.
And
day I
they
wake up,
need
I'm
to cut
screwed
that.
up.
They need to have 3 months of summer vacation.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Shut up. I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. But no, we don't need 3 months off.
Yes, they need to consolidate. They need to eliminate those cram it all in, and then give them 4 months
No,
off.
the kids, they miss by like 1 month in, they're
See,
ready to go
Jesse's
back
on
to school.
it. Yes.
No. I hate being off our routine. Being off our routine for that long, like even like a couple days, like everybody's just cranky. I can't do it. I need to be in my rhythm. I can't stay in my rhythm when it gets thrown off.
Well, yeah, but that would be the thing. It would be if they went Monday to Friday for 8 months, no changes, no holidays, no nothing, and then had 4 months straight off. You could do, you could change once you transitioned over.
holidays.
Yeah, just go right through. Then you get 4 months off.
What about Christmas?
Well, we
Nobody
might
gets
make
time off
it-
for Christmas?
Well, you maybe if they're really nice.
Don't listen to Roy.
Well, that could be the whole naughty and nice thing. If you're naughty, you got to go to school on Christmas Day. I bet you that would get there.
Oh my God, I love that.
See?
And all the naughty teachers are the ones that have to work.
Yes, and all the ones that are all the failing teachers have to come in and work on that. See,
Come on, do it.
Yeah, see, I have brilliant ideas all the time.
They're great. Teresa writes. Teresa writes in, no way, poor parent. She also writes in, they can come to Roy's house.
Yes, we'll hold school.
They'll
we'll
never
hold
make it
school
through the
here.
day.
We'll have fun. That's for damn
My
sure.
kids won't be attending. Anyways. Because they're good kids. That's why. I thought we were talking only bad kids.
No, the good
that
kids.
was a good save.
The good kids get to come over here. That's your reward.
What?
Because they'll have fun.
Where's the reward in that at?
Yes, you'll actually learn something.
Speaking of school.
Well, you know what? Well, hang on. We'll get to. But you know why today? Why this is probably the fastest weekend.
Please do
ever?
share.
Well, we start off as of in a few minutes, or I think now. The truck race is going on at Daytona. Tomorrow will be the Xfinity 300, and culminating with the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of stock car racing, on Sunday. And do you know who has the number one starting pole position for the Daytona 500?
What does it start with? Alex Bowman?
Yes!
I got it right!
You remembered. It's been almost a year since we interviewed Alex on that, and we will have some interviews coming up on the race, because on March 1st and March 29th and the 1st, the Xfinity and NASCAR stars, there's Alex Bowman, pole winner at Daytona. We'll all be out here at Fontana for the big NASCAR weekend on that, and that's coming up right around the corner.
It is. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, everything's just, man, the world's just rolling by at a fast pace on a fast Friday.
I know.
On that. So for all you racing fans, this is like the probably the biggest weekend of the year. Something that NASCAR does, and it's different, they have their biggest race as the opening race of the year, which is, most things, well, they do have a championship, but I mean, their biggest event of the year is actually their opening event, the Daytona 500.
Where's that at?
That's
Daytona?
yeah, no good. Yeah, in
There.
yeah, in Kopasek, Armenia is where it is.
Yeah,
And to boot, and she just wrote in, Laura Martin and her daughter Candace and her husband Bill are there at the Daytona 500, and remember the Girl Scout cookies that were brought in? They're there at the Daytona 500.
Oh, yeah, she said she was going to do a little coverage on
Yeah,
that, right?
so we stay tuned to IEN Newswire. They'll be doing live shots from the Daytona 500 weekend across the board. So,
But isn't the one that comes here to Fontana Speedway the 400?
yeah, it's Auto Club 400.
What's the difference between the 500 and 400? I know I'm going to regret asking that. There we go. Oh, very good, Jesse.
Yeah,
I just want
the Daytona.
I'm educating the viewers.
500, yes. Yeah.
Duh.
Nice try, Dickie. Trying
Jeff
to get
writes
that.
in, should be a good race. Very close, I expect.
Who do you
Thanks,
pick to win,
and
Jeff?
happy Valentine's Day to you too, Jeff.
Who
Say
do
happy
you-
Valentine's Day.
Happy
Jeff.
Valentine's Day to Jeff and everybody out there. Who do you pick to win the Daytona 500, Jeff? Everybody make your picks on that. I don't know. If anybody watched, they have the Busch Clash. It was on pole qualifying weekend last Sunday. I mean, they had 18 cars. I think 4 were finished. I mean, they were scattering them around there like. I mean, they had like just a fresh cut forest. I mean, there was parts and cars scattered all over that place.
Wow.
And Eric Jones, who won, actually was in one of the earlier crashes, and I mean, his front end was all bent up and all that, which is very difficult to do at Daytona because your aerodynamics usually play a very key part in that. But I mean, his car was all banged up, beat up, and he won the darn thing with a big assist from his Toyota teammate, Denny Hamlin, who pushed him across the line
Go
first.
Toyota. Jeffrey writes in Harvick.
I think Rowdy Busch.
I'm going to say Alex Bowman. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes, you can say that.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
Is
pick.
Tyler Reddick?
Yes, he actually moved up from the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series this year.
Did he?
Driving for
He wasn't last year?
No, remember he ran in the Xfinity Series.
I thought he was in the other one too.
No, he was but we interviewed
Whatever.
Tyler last year when he was actually champion and went on to win the 2 years in a row. First person to ever win the championship 2 years in a row driving for 2 different car owners. He drove
Crazy.
for Rick Hendrick last year and Richard Childress. 2 years ago he drove for Rick Hendrick. Last year he drove for Richard Childress, which he has moved up to the Cup Series with Richard Childress on that. So a lot of them. The guy that won the race, Cole Custer, he's moved up to was it Cole or was it yeah, I think Cole might have moved up too. He might have moved up to the that and
Harvick writes in, I'm going to do this while you're thinking. Harvick has experience and his car is real good. And Peggy writes in, happy Valentine's Day to you and Roy. You too, Peggy. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Peggy, and happy Valentine's Day to you. Christopher Bell is the Toyota driver. He won. Not only has he won the Turkey Night Grand Prix midget race like 4 years in a row, but Kyle Larson won it last year up there. But he also is moving up. Toyota driver. He's also moving up from the Xfinity series. And that's going to be a guy to watch. I'm predicting this. I'm predicting Christopher Bell is probably going to be the one. I'm going to say Kyle Busch right now is probably the top driver. As far as wins, contenders, kind of took over the mantle from Jimmy Johnson, who is in his last year. This will be his final final race for Jimmy Johnson out at Fontana when it comes up March 1st. But I think Kyle Busch has kind of picked up that, and I think you're going to see a Kyle Busch Chris Bell battle coming in the next years. And
Alex Bowman.
And I think you're.
I'm gonna tell Alex you said that.
You can
I'm gonna
tell
call him
Alex
after
you
this
said
show.
that. Alex is good, no doubt about it. But Chris Bell's just got that little bit extra that just puts you as cut above. I mean, he's won and adapted. I mean, he came out of sprint cars and midgets. They put him in a road race car, which is like a totally different world. I mean, he picked it up like duck soup.
Like duck soup?
Yes.
Why not turtle soup? I prefer chicken noodle.
You like?
I would never eat turtle soup. That's just sad.
Have you ever eaten duck soup?
No. Ducks are cute. Oh, so are chickens. Yeah, I'm just gonna go wild rice.
Eat those.
I'm just gonna go wild rice. 10 vegetable from Panera.
No, I think that. So, what did you have on tap?
Wow, now you're just gonna throw it at me like that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, go back to the school part that we were talking about earlier. You way threw that off. I had it set up perfectly. Anyways, today our wonderful TK teacher at La Jolla Elementary decided on her day off to bring Valentine's hearts that her class had made with little jokes on the back. She did cute little knock-knock jokes on the back of them. Each student got to come up with their own. I mean, obviously she helped. And pass them out to the senior citizens living at Renaissance Village. It was so cute. You can see all the students there with their little hats, and we dressed the girls up like ladybugs, and the boys had hats with glitter on them. And they sang a little Valentine song, which they learned in the parking lot in like 2 seconds. It was just to see.
They're pretty sharp to pick up a song in 2 seconds.
Well, we made it like the Happy Birthday song, but we changed it to Happy Valentine's Day instead of Happy Birthday.
Okay.
And this is them towards the end with, I think it was the director, maybe the manager of the place. And then my son, Evan, this old man was like, I don't know what his thing was with Evan, but he had a little thing. It was adorable. And he came over and he was telling Evan, thank you for the Valentine. You could just tell it meant so much to these people to have these students come in. And they thought they were just adorable. I mean, one lady picked up this little girl and put her on her lap. It was so, so cute. And for a teacher to take the time on her day off to go and do something like that is just amazing.
Big shout out. What's her name again?
Miss Rockwell.
Miss Rockwell. Big that. And no, it's super cute.
Oh, yeah. Super cute. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
It was. To see these
I
older
got corrected
people on Valentine's Day. I mean, some of them might not have family. I mean, you don't know their story. And just to see these kids walk in and just light up and totally made their day, it was so cute. And the kids loved it. My kids, I was like, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous, like, how are they going to handle this? I mean, you never know. Kids say, like, the darndest things at the worst times. So I was like, oh, fingers crossed they don't say anything stupid. Anyways, they loved it. They can't wait to go back. We're planning another trip this Easter to bring little Easter bunnies or something like that to the senior citizens that live there. It was really, really cute.
It is, and it's it's great that when things like that happen, because when you're and that's a great place out there. I've been out there a few times to Renaissance, and it's a really nice place. But when you're out there and that, and they're all around elderly people. They're all retired or that. A lot of them a lot of them have medical issues and stuff.
Right.
And they're usually because they can't. Not that they're physically like bedridden, but they just don't have the ability to take care of themselves, like that. But that lights up their day just to see somebody, see kids or anybody come in the door and just have somebody to chat to. So and it's kind of like some of the stuff I talk about, do something to brighten up somebody else's day like that.
Exactly. And for her to come up, I mean, she was going to send it to veterans, but then she's like, do veterans, I mean, granted, they would appreciate it for sure, but are they going to really feel it like these older people did? And I think that she just did a great job picking where the students went and spent their time. I mean, it was such an amazing experience that they're going to remember, the kids are going to remember, and just something for her to always continue to do, because I think that really does touch a lot of lives that they did today, and they don't even know it.
It is. It's something great. We're going to talk, and when we come back on KMET at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk about the Michael AVENATTI deal. I mean, poetic justice of that. And I will say this. So, I mean, there could. I mean, I don't know. Not that I advocate this because we don't want to do this, but I mean, the way things are going, Trump's going to be Trump's going to be appointed king. I mean, that thing that he puts on Twitter like Trump 2020, 24, 28, 32, yada, yada, like he's just going to be president forever. I mean, the way things are setting up on for him in 2020, I mean, things could not be breaking his way more, at least the way I see it, than anything else. The Democratic Party is imploding. All of his detractors seem to be either in some sort of legal trouble, can't talk, of all stuff. But something that broke yesterday was the Roger Stone deal. He was an advisor to President Trump on the campaign, and they convicted him of lying before Congress or not, this. And this is one thing. If you're ever under oath, testimony to Congress in court, there's this thing called perjury, and it's my understanding. I'm not a lawyer to give legal advice, but perjury. If you tell a lie, you cannot tell a lie in court. You are supposed to. If you tell a lie in court or something that is not that is that, you can be charged with perjury. So if they ask you, is today January 6, 2020, and you say yes, and it's actually January 7th, 2020. They can charge you with perjury.
How much is that fine?
Well, it's punishable. Well,
It depends
not a
on
fine.
what it
Yes,
is.
no, you can go to jail for that. Not that they would.
So if I took you to court and I got you to lie, you can go to jail?
Yes.
Yes.
If you can prove perjury on
I'm just
that,
kidding.
they
I would
hardly ever
never.
prosecute it because it gets into intent and all
Right.
this other stuff and yada yada yada. But I mean, technically, that is the case. So they basically got Roger Stone on some sort of technicality. He was testifying to Congress. They subpoenaed him. He said something that wasn't true, so they said, okay, they put the bite on him. Mainly, in my view, and a lot of people, just because he was on the Trump campaign, and they're trying to, they were trying, and Roger Stone has been, I mean, he's a firecracker. I mean, he's been in politics all his life, and I mean, he's one of the lightning rods. So, I mean, Roger Stone probably has a lot of friends, and he has a heck of a lot of enemies probably along the way. He plays smash mouth politics. Let's put it that way. So, fast forward, they sentenced him to that. The Attorney General they sentenced him to, or recommended the prosecutors, because it was a federal deal, which is under the Attorney General, appointed by Trump. They recommended sentencing for him from 4 to 7 years. And William Barr, our Attorney General, stepped in and said, no, I don't think that. And then that created a whole ruckus of what was going on. But the bottom line is Stone should have never been convicted for doing that little, deal. It was a BS case. It's kind of like the case of Michael Flynn. He's the one that was up there. They got him on the same thing, or made a bunch of threats on him and da-da-da-da. So he pulled a plea to plea bargain it out, and then whatever the sentence was supposed to be really light, then they recommended that. So he pulled his plea out. He's actually changing his plea from to not guilty and is going to fight it. So this is what they waste their time. Really what they're doing is playing politics with our court and criminal justice system. While the real criminals get away with, God knows what else. But they're playing politics trying to get an I gotcha or something, da-da-da-da-da. I think they thought it was a precursor to the Trump impeachment so they could have this stuff on. Well, yeah, not only does Trump need to be impeached, this guy, who was involved with Trump in his campaigns, in his administration, yada, 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 was convicted. That's why we got to remove him. Well, that whole enchilada just is going up in, has went up in smoke on the whole deal.
Don't talk about enchiladas that way. Carry on.
And here we are. It's a totally. It points out to me the insanity that's going on across the board, not only in the District of Criminals, but all across the nation. That we're doing on that, and it's disheartening. To me, when there's plenty of important issues they could be dealing with, and we're running this BS stuff like this, and I don't know what bizarro world we're living in, but we really just need to knock this stuff off. Just like the deal, and you didn't see it, but the one they built a multicultural room in University, I think it was University of Virginia, and this black student walks in and says, "Hey, why don't all you white people just get out of here? You're making us uncomfortable." I mean, we've got this. That's the real racism. You're supposed to be in the multicultural room, and you gotta be. You can't come in the multicultural room based on the shade of brown your skin tone is. That's ridiculous. We got that.
Was it on video that they said it, though?
Yes, we played it yesterday.
I must have missed that part. I probably tuned in right after. Dang it.
It was incredible. It was incredible. It's incredible the lunacy that goes on. I mean, just think of that. What if? I mean, let's say example. What if I walked in there and said, "Oh well, there's too many black people in here. Why don't you get out? You're making us uncomfortable."
Right.
That would have caused a firestorm but if I would have said that, they would have had me hung upside down by my feet with flames, roasting me. Where's the reciprocity or the equal treatment? 14th Amendment, all laws and everything are supposed to be applied equal. Let's apply that everywhere. If you really want to get rid of racism or this or all this angst and stuff that goes on in hollering, let's just deal with people as individuals. And the whole point of, I've heard on the other side is, well, you don't understand our culture. You don't. Well, if I never talk to you or experience it or that, how am I ever going to understand it?
Right.
If you're telling me to get out in the multicultural room.
But would us talking about it kind of be like a little bit of that too? Or no? I don't like talking about it. It's making me uncomfortable.
Well, it should, because it's stupid.
It's not, well,
and
no, but maybe it is, but maybe
racism.
somebody just has that. I mean, obviously they have that resentment.
They've got problems.
They have resentment, and they feel because maybe they had one bad encounter, now everybody to them is bad, which is sad. I mean, that person obviously needs a hug. I would have gone up and just hugged him and said, "I love you." Probably wouldn't have fixed anything. I probably would have knocked out. Yeah.
I wouldn't
I'm
have.
a wimp.
No, I'd have been on.
I would have ran out crying.
I would have been on the phone saying, "Hey, come on in here. We're gonna pack this place if that's the way it is."
Yeah.
No, you fight fire with fire. You do not let. That's what they tried to do.
See, but I know. I don't.
They try to.
I don't go that way like that.
And that's what, again, like I'm saying across this, it's the intimidation part to get their way, to get their power. To get their,
I don't think it was a power trip. Maybe
Yes,
they just didn't want them in there. They wanted to be.
For what reason?
I don't know.
Yes, play the video.
No, damn it. It's Valentine's Day, man. I want to be happy and loving. Not comfortable and sad.
Listen to this.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
I don't know.
First
But,
off,
okay,
it's
but-
the multicultural
Yes,
room.
but who's to say that that's all? Like, what if she was acting? What if she was reinstating how she feels when she's around that? Like, you don't know that she legitimately meant that. What it was? What? I'm just saying, there's like so many different sides to so many different stories.
Then why the applause at the end?
I don't have an answer for that one, Roy.
Thank you. Because she
But-
meant that.
but-
From my opinion, and most anybody that's looking at that,
I'm not saying it's not racist, and I'm definitely not saying it's right. I'm not agreeing with it at all. But maybe they just want their own space. I
Then,
mean,
okay, if it is,
but she has no right to ever complain if anybody's ever to say, get out of this area
if it
because we
is
want this area.
on a public campus university, and if we're going to do that,
Oh
if
my
you
God, we're so going to get into it right now.
if you want a black-only deal, then we are going to have a white-only one.
Exactly. That's what I mean. If you're going to be that way, expect to be treated that
But
way.
that's the problem is, in our society now, if you have a white-only one, could you imagine the protest, consternation of that? That's where the problem is. And until you eliminate that, and until you point out who the real racists are, like Mason Weaver and Kenny White and a lot of the others, and I do, and everybody on all sides of this platform do,
Right.
until you point that out and you keep on that and you don't let them intimidate. That's why I say, if I was in there, I'd have been on the Horn Mutual broadcast system saying, hey, get on down here. We're going to pack this place.
right.
Then
Well-
let's see what's going on. I mean, it will. Let's fight absurdity.
See, but I don't like
with
that, though,
absurdity.
because then that's just starting. I mean, she's immature, and what she did was wrong, absolutely. But I don't know. You just can't change people that are like that. Just like I can't change you. I mean, sometimes people are just hard-headed and stubborn. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You're adding to the legend, and I'm such a nice guy.
You are,
mild-mannered.
and you're a great dude. I'm not saying. I mean, he spoiled me today. People, handmade heart. Can I flip it upside down? Anyways, so sweet. I love it. Brings a smile to my face every time I touch it. But I forgot what I was
that's
even
what
saying.
you should. How about the chick in there bringing something in that she made and handing it to these so-called too many white people in here and say, hey, I want to be your friend.
What? The girl on the video?
Yes.
You want her to make something handmade?
Yeah, hand it to one of these so-called too many white people in here and say, I want to be your friend.
Why would she do that? She doesn't want to be
That's
anybody's
exactly
friend. She doesn't
right.
want friends.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, she wants her own society in there, or wants to hate, or whatever it is. And that's what the problem is. And
See, Teresa agrees with me. She said, you're right, Stephanie. We don't know the whole story. Boom. What if it was like a multicultural, that's how people treated people back in the day? How does this make you feel when you hear it? Because sometimes they like to do that. Let's role act, and you can feel the uncomfortableness that we feel. Which is that I appreciate when they do that.
You're not going to make, like I said, my reaction would be, you're not going to make me feel uncomfortable.
I know, because
gonna
you're
motivate
stubborn
me.
and you're hard-headed.
Yes.
There's no getting through to that. But sometimes people like to reenact this is how we feel when we were treated this way. So maybe that's what she was doing. Maybe the room was divided. Like if you do the footsteps of freedom, you're treated like a slave. And for them, it's like that reality check. You get to relive it, and then you feel what the people went through. You know what I mean? What if it was one of those moments?
Well, people hate all the time. People hate me. So?
And if it was one of those moments, she should really go back on there and say it was one of those moments, because I'm trying to stick up for you right now.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if I should be.
If it really was, then that would have been I would have been right out saying, well, yeah, this is what it was. After the fact, no. That's your intention was to come up, and we heard this too many times of what's coming on. Because if that was your intention of what's doing that, then you would have said, okay, now this is a example of way I feel.
But maybe that video didn't pick up on that part. Just like if anyone skipped through some stuff you say or I say, it's going to make it sound different than what it was.
All over the place. And if somebody was mischaracterizing something that I said like that, I would be the first one out there saying, hey, this is what I said. And
maybe she doesn't know.
You could not know. That,
Okay, I'm
like I
just gonna
said,
stop talking now.
She deleted her Twitter account.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she sucks. Let's go down there.
Boy, that was quick. Boy, that was the biggest 180 I've ever seen. Well, I'm trying to defend you. Well, that sucks.
I said she sucks.
Or
not that.
she sucks, yes. Like you see, that was a...
No, but I'm just saying that sometimes, I mean, a lot of people now, that's the way that they're teaching people. Let's reenact, and I want you to actually physically feel that, because that's just how some people are learning these days. That I appreciate. But clearly that's not what she was doing. What's up, Sean?
We're getting ready to
Hey.
We're getting
Happy
ready to join
Valentine's Day,
into,
Sean.
Yeah, happy Valentine's.
Boy, was that enthusiastic.
I know.
You can't hear Sean, but yeah, he was...
It's not a day that I celebrate, unfortunately.
Do you know what
No,
it also is?
No,
though, Sean?
for personal reasons. This is actually the 6th year of my mom's passing.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's not really something that's,
Well, now I feel bad.
Thanks, Stephanie, for bringing it up.
I'm sorry, Sean. Now I want to cry.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, some of the nice things you get when you're sitting on the insides of that, but yeah, we're talking to Sean a little bit as we're getting ready to join in on
1
Game
minute,
Day
guys,
14
1 minute.
in 1 minute of that. So it's a fun show. We have a lot of interesting things. that
Jesse's
transpire
breakdancing
here.
back there. What?
Remember, we still have our promos to do. You didn't write
Yes,
yours.
promos.
Oh,
Stephanie,
now we're doing business across the time when
That's
we're on.
fine.
we need you to record promos.
How many do you want me to record?
1 ID and 1 promo for the show.
There you go. You have work to do.
I do.
This is our
Of
break
that.
time.
Do I have to do it after the show, though? Because I kind of have a date with 4 little boys that I would like to attend.
30 seconds.
Monday.
Okay. He's ignoring me
Monday
now.
is good.
Hey, go listen to that Taylor Swift song. You'll love it. I'll send you the link.
Say what?
That's all right. Just listen to the link I send you.
No,
Hi,
no.
thanks for tuning in. It's on the radio. I can't
Well,
even
it was a
listen. I
nice
can't even
radio
listen to the
career
dang
while it
song.
lasted.
I know.
All right, guys, here we go.
1490am.com and download your free phone app today. IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
Music coming in on the Mighty Met 1490 AM KMET on a Fast Friday. That's so, yeah, fastest weekend of the year in the United States of America. The Daytona 500 weekend is up. Tune in to IE Newswire Daily on Facebook. One of our great personnel, Laura Martin, who you've seen her and her daughter Candace in here, giving us great Girl Scout cookies and stuff with that. And you can still order some. Look up Laura Martin on Facebook. Her and Candace will hook you up with that. She'll be giving you some live reports because she's at Daytona at the weekend, finishing off her weeks-long vacation with Candace and her husband Bill. So they're having a great time, and that'll be something to look forward. Alex Bowman's on the pole.
Whoop, whoop.
Great karma, because we interviewed him last year about this time.
Are we going to have him on again? We need to.
Well, we don't know. It just depends on the rotation. But next Wednesday, we will have Dave Talley to kick off our interviews. At 5:30, we'll have Dave Talley, the PR director from Auto Club Speedway, to kick off our interview segments on that. Yeah, stay tuned. You kind of have to take your pick of who's available or what on the scene of that. But we'll have you 2 or 3. I think we had 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Interviews with the stars of NASCAR. Tyler Reddick was on, which actually won the Xfinity Championship, which is a Saturday race not only at Daytona, but out at Auto Club Speedway. And he will be up. He moved up to the Cup circuit, to the Monster Energy deal. He'll be in the Daytona 500 too, along with being in the Auto Club 400 on Sunday, which will be absolutely fantastic race.
Yeah, we'll be.
Exciting of that. If it's anything like that,
And are we going to have tickets to give away this year?
well, hopefully we'll get some tickets to give away on the for the Auto Club 400 weekend and something. Maybe we'll even snake some of the promo stuff from some of the teams to give away too.
Ooh.
Who
I want
knows?
stuff. Do I get stuff? Or do I just get to give it away?
You just get to give it away.
Dang it. It's going to be good stuff, too.
But that makes our audience happy, which is very important.
But if I'm happy, it makes them happy, too. So
You're always happy.
I am.
We covered a lot of stuff on that at the first of the show, but the big news that broke today and have the story up on IEN was that the guy that was seemed to be on the news every 2 seconds a couple years ago and was the darling of the dominant media after Trump got elected. None other than Michael AVENATTI. Where's the picture up of the deal? Yes, there we are. Trump nemesis Michael AVENATTI is found guilty on 3 counts of trying to extort $25 million from Nike.
Dang.
Was released by the U.S. Attorney's Office today about noon our time. Michael AVENATTI, for those of you, those 1 or 2 people who don't
Why are you
know
pointing
who
at
this don't know who this is, was the attorney that seemed to be on the news every 3 seconds when he took the case of porn star Stormy Daniels that accused President Trump of all sorts of, well, let's say nefarious things that he was doing to and for her and yada, yada, yada. There was talk and it was, oh, what the great thing Michael AVENATTI is doing. Oh, all the never-Trumpers, you Republicans that hate Trump, that are really Democrats in sheep's clothing, Mitt Romney and the crew. All you left of center, or Trump haters, Michael AVENATTI. Michael AVENATTI for president. It was constant barrage. Trump's going down. He did this. Oh, it's all over. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to, and this, and he did, and blah, 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 blah. Well, the porn star's case went up in smoke.
I like how you worded that.
Then all of a sudden, the little stuff starts leaking out about Mr. AVENATTI. People say, he's flying around in private jet planes, got 2 homes, I think, in Beverly Hills or L.A. or something, living, the Maseratis or Ferraris, and just on it, living like a Donald Trump or Michael Bloomberg, for crying out loud. So they start digging in. Well, all of a sudden, seems like the allegations keep coming up. He would make these big settlements, and okay, let's say you were the quadriplegic that got injured, and you got a $5 million settlement from whatever tragedy, You won your case in court. Michael AVENATTI's your attorney. Let's say out of the $5 million, let's say his part of the case is $1 million. So in these cases, say it's an insurance company or a big Acme Corporation or whatever. Okay, so they lose. They send the check over to Michael AVENATTI because he's the attorney for the poor person that was injured. So Michael AVENATTI is supposed to, okay, I'll take my $1 million out. Here's your $4 million or whatever, expenses,
Damn, I should have been a lawyer.
Of all this, whatever. The client was due, the injured party was due. Let's say there's $500,000 in expenses, yada yada yada, this and that. So the client's due $3.5 million. Okay, Michael AVENATTI takes his cut, pays off all the expenses or whatever, and then sends whatever the $3.5 million, or supposed to send the $3.5 million over to the injured party. Well, it seems Michael AVENATTI got his hand in the cookie jar. And instead of sending the $3.5 million over, he would send like maybe $350,000 over.
Oh, crap.
And then just come up with all kinds
and
of...
then go buy a new plane.
Yes!
I mean...
He's got 2 more cases, I think, out here in California because he was based out here.
What would you do with all that money, though? Why do you need that much money?
And look, this stuff is, in my opinion... And again, I talked about him yesterday on the Civil Rights Fair-Minded. I heard fair-minded civil rights attorney Leo Terrell, and he said, in his opinion, Michael Avenatti has been doing this for years. This isn't his first rodeo. And what kind of genius is it of Michael? And he's probably looks like he's been getting, if he has, he's been getting away with this stuff probably for decades. Of doing that. And what is who heard of Michael Avenatti before the porn star thing came up against Trump? Nobody. I mean, 3 people on the earth probably knew who Michael Avenatti
sure
was.
More than 3 people.
But
Maybe
I mean,
4.
you just said who's before this 2 years ago, before this the whole Stormy D thing broke. You just said who Michael Avenatti is. People would have gave you a blank stare. They have no idea who you're talking about. And so he knows he's doing all this stuff. He knows he's been illegally, if he has, allegations are, let's put it that way. If he has, he's been taking all this stuff. Well, what kind of genius goes out there and makes this big high-profile spiel when the porn star deal comes up, and is on the news and making all these... Did he think nobody from Trump's or the Republican side was going to start checking out what a little old Mikey A has been doing all this time? I mean, this dude needs to be locked up of anything for just on the stupidity clause of being a dip blank.
What? Teresa writes in, I'm so glad. The problem is he will get probation because he has a hangnail and he can't take prison. Just saying. What do you say about that?
No, they will. Well, no, he's got more cases. Like I say, I think he's got 2 more. One of them, Stormy D. I think it's allegation.
He ripped her off?
Yeah, he's $300,000
up.
for the book deal that was supposed to go to the porn star. He bought the allegation from Stormy is he pocketed $300,000 that was supposed to go to her.
Well, that's scary.
So, like I say, what kind of genius of this? Like I say, and he'd been getting away with. It appears. Allegations are, or looks like, he's been getting away with this stuff for years. And nobody was, he was flying under the radar screen, in his jet plane, of that.
Now I wonder how many shady things are going on out in the world. This is why sometimes I hate the show, because you reality check that, and now I'm paranoid.
Well, you should be. They're ripping you off at every turn. It's just like like I said, the dirty little school deal about the schools. They defer the maintenance on the buildings, and then when everything's falling apart, they say, "Oh, we got to have this bond to fix everything." Well, they've been jacking up their salaries and gold-plated pension benefits and salaries while they've been letting the schools deteriorate, and then they make you and me pay again twice with interest.
Your hands are scaring me. Stop.
Well, this stuff goes on and on. $1 a gallon
He's getting
more.
the Mickey Mouse voice.
$1 a gallon more. I got a snort.
Oh, crap.
$1 a gallon more you're paying in California for gas than the national average because they're ripping you off. On top of that, because if they got a $22 billion surplus over this stuff, they don't need Prop 13, the $15 billion school bond, because we already paid it. And they want us to pay it again, and then interest on top of that. Have you ever heard of a crooked dice game?
Can I come back now?
Yeah, you can come
I'm
back.
running over blueberry trains.
You're snoring again.
Oh, my God.
No!
Okay. What?
I mean, isn't it... When are people? They're talking about woke. When are people going to get woke about this?
Wake up, people.
Yes.
Listen to the crazy guy. You might know a thinker, too.
Tell me, no. It's really sad.
No, it is.
When the guys that are and I don't blame it's their job. The guys that are actually maintaining the schools and the guys and gals, they're doing the electrical maintenance, They're saying, hey, off the record, this is what's going on. And you're going, no wonder it's not. And it's just like Jason Hunter said. And I told them when they did Measure M, the $398 million bond, I said, you guys could probably use a $100 million bond to rebuild actual classrooms that are going to last 30 years. And if you did that, I would probably support it. But no, they're running a con game against us, and we pay and we pay and we pay again. And you know what? You know who ultimately pays the price for this? All those little kids you see in that class.
Aw.
That are not getting the pencils and the books or all the things they complain about that they don't have because the cabal is ripping them off. And that's what's really sad about the whole situation. It's like this whole thing. It's like the dominant media that was putting up this snake, AVENATTI, who is now on the convicted list, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, for trying to extort $25 million from Nike. And this is what.
Why? How is he getting money from Nike though?
Okay, he was representing a football coach who had a charity deal going with Nike, and Nike pulled the program. So this guy hires AVENATTI as an attorney.
Okay.
So AVENATTI's representing, I don't know, coach whomever or whatever's on this deal, trying to get the coach just wants to get his funding back for whatever project he's working on. So AVENATTI takes it on himself, not to represent his client, but to represent himself. And according to the allegations, which have been proven in court, it seems like, is he went and told Nike, and in languages like this, according to what the reports I've heard, don't F with me, Nike. If you don't give me $25 million, I'm going to expose all the things you're doing, blah, 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 blah. Well, you might be able to pick on Donald Trump or public officials because that. But you know what? When you're trying to shake down the number one shoe company that's probably worth trillions or billions, you think Trump or even Bloomberg, which has probably got 5 or 10 times more money than Trump, what's he worth, 40 or 50 billion dollars or something ridiculous amount? The Nike Corporation is like one of the top money earners all across the board in the whole freaking world. And you're in there trying to shake them. You don't think they're going to... I
know, that's stupid. Why would he think he was going to get away with that?
You think they were just going to roll over... I mean, I guess his head was so swelled up or whatever that... I saw that.
What?
That he thought he was just going to roll in there, make a bunch of threats, and actually... and make that and walk out of there with 25 million, or who knows, 10 million, 15, 20, I'm sure he probably didn't figure he was going to get all 25, but he probably figured he'd walk out of there with, 5 or 10 mil or so just to shut up, go away, yada, yada, yada. Well, that little plan that little plan backfired.
Jeffrey writes in, 45 slid down the track on its roof. Pretty long ways. I'm guessing he's talking about racing. And then he said red flag.
That must be the truck race.
Yes.
At Daytona.
Probably. Thank you for the updates, Jeffrey. We appreciate that.
Gotta have the updates.
Hey, you do.
Yes.
So now they know.
Of what's going on. The kicking off, like you say, they have the truck race tonight, Xfinity tomorrow, and culminating with the Daytona 500 tomorrow. But no, it's
Time majesty?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's poetic justice, in this case, that AVENATTI's world's getting turned upside down, not, and even excluding the Trump stuff or even the Nike, if it appears or the allegations, he was ripping off just plain everyday folks that, like you say, one of them was a quadriplegic or something, I believe, in the cases in California, that, to actually be taking money from people like that have had devastating consequences in their lives,
Right.
and will never be the same or whole or whatever. That money is there to take care of them, or try and make their life the best that it can be, given this the circumstance or whatever accident happened or whatever that they're in that situation. And he's, if he has ripped off those kind of people, I mean, how much more evil can you get than doing that? Not to mention the.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you need that much? I mean, that's a lot of money. What are you gonna do with all that money? Money's evil. I don't know.
Well, it can be. It's like anything else. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil.
True.
It's all depending of how or what you put it together with. So, and I've always said this, of all that in my book, getting, kind of turning around in the racism thing. There's really only, in my book, there's only two kind of people. That's good and bad.
Right.
You're either on one side or the other. The Michael Avenatti.
I don't know, because you're kind of like in the middle.
Thanks for the rousing endorsement.
You're welcome.
Of that. But no, I mean, really, when you, that's my answer to this race, or this race thing or whatever. No, there really isn't. If you want to eliminate racism, that's what you should look at. You should put people in two classifications, either good or bad. And that has nothing to do with anything else but how the person you are.
Right.
And if you're a person like Avenatti, then you're a scumbag, and you should be treated so.
So then he goes to the bad side.
Yes.
I don't know. I think good bad is just not. It's not equal enough.
Well, what would be your?
I'd be above good. But I would not know where to place you. I'm torn. Jess would be okay.
Wow.
Jess would be good. Sean, I don't know, because he won't listen to Taylor Swift song that I'm trying to get him to listen to. So. Just kidding. And we're off air.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to.
Just kidding, Sean. You're the best.
Yes. To badmouth on the air the guy that's sending your signal
I
out
know.
over the airway.
Sean, did I tell you how good you look today?
Happy Valentine's Day, Sean. Of that, no, it is, but it's really disconcerting and stuff of how this, and it really is how people couldn't see through. I mean, not that you until it came out, but I mean, just looking when I first seen Avenatti and him coming back, I mean, I'm thinking this, that guy just had the ick factor when you could, at least I don't know. Do you get premonitions or like I said, we profile all the time, everybody every day?
I mean, I have like my hunches and my feelings and stuff like that. Like you can tell. I don't know. You just get that vibe from people. But I'm usually generally pretty wrong. So let's not trust me for anything.
But I did. I mean, you could just tell this guy just had that ick factor. As soon as he opened his mouth and said what he was doing, because when the porn star thing came out, all the time, just the way in his actions and making all the salacious allegations and this and that, especially to the president of the United States, of that, there should be a little bit of decorum when you're dealing with that, even if the allegations were true, we should, and if they were true, and that eventually, and if you're right, they're going to come out, and and if they were true, yeah, they'll probably, that could be something that people would, or, was in for like the impeachment process of the Constitution, yada, yada, yada. If somebody was really that, that despicable of a human being doing that kind of stuff, well, yeah, there you go. But here, in this case, like I say, just his presence of that, just to me, was like, so and then. And like I talk about, this is what happens in our culture a lot. What is becoming our culture? Our news outlets, our dominant news outlets, are not telling us the truth. They're selling us a Jerry Springer show like this.
That or they tell you what they want to tell you.
Right. They wanted to believe what Michael Avenatti and the porn star were saying. So all of a sudden they're giving them every, like I said, it seemed like 24/7, 365 coverage of that because there was that faction that hated Trump so much that they didn't care what, why, or how. They were out to destroy him. And that's what we have. We have a lot of our society, and it permeates through a lot of this stuff. We have they call it the politics of destruction. And that's what we do. A lot of times there's this, we have to destroy somebody else to build ourselves up instead of trying to build the boat to lift us all up, on the rising tide. No, there's this faction out there that says, I got to bury you in order to make me stand up here on the platform. Michael Avenatti is probably primary number one example. He didn't care who he stomped on, stole from, or extorted from to get to the top. And, like I said...
You're right. I agree. Can we talk about my other thing that I sent in?
What is your other thing that you sent in?
Now that we have 5 minutes left.
There you go. Well, you better hurry.
Why don't we even try? Oh, 3 minutes. That's great. If you can put up my little thing, I wanted to go over some funny Valentine's Day gifts. Aw, my thing shut down.
Your thing shut down.
What's up with that, man?
What's up with that?
There we go. We're back. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to my best friend for giving me this adorable mug and the monkey. I will definitely use it for my water. I saw that your mom popped on. Hi, Melissa. I love you. You're my best friend. Okay.
That is absolutely adorable.
It is. I know. It's the cutest. She sees me carry my water bottle every day, like a water bottle.
Yeah.
So she got me a water cup to put my freaking water in. So adorable.
She didn't think...
She's like, you better use it.
Yes.
I'm going to use it, I promise. I just want to keep it on set so that way everybody can see and I can share it with the world. Because it was adorable and the sweetest little thought. I did? Anyways, Roy's going to go ahead and start talking again about AVENATTI. Yeah. Airport.
The world wants to hear from Roy.
No, they don't.
They're sending you that subliminal signal.
Did you find it? It was so funny though. It was like Staples, and it was like buy a gift of love, and it was like mouses.
Is this the stuff that I wasn't supposed to
Oh yeah,
look
go down.
at? Here we go.
It was mouse, and then it was. Well, go down a little bit more. Yeah, Valentine romantic bouquet. This is a little. Okay, this one right. Go back up. This one right here. Show someone you love them this Valentine's Day. You can get them a mouse or file for divorce papers.
Well,
or you can print them out.
Yeah.
But I want to go.
That's apropos. Yeah, show your Valentine's Day, file for divorce. Did somebody do that as a joke, or did you?
I think it's like a joke, but they took pictures. You can give bacon wrapped roses. I mean, delicious.
Well, yeah, that would be so. Now that
snug as a bug. Look at that. It's a huge mitt.
No, you rolled by the bacon wrapped roses real fast. Now somebody was really thinking when they did this one, because before the roses go bad, you can eat them.
Well, and I know that's brilliant. I know that is really smart.
Expectation versus reality.
Sorry.
The Huggy Bear. You're my national treasure.
A Nicolas Cage cake. That was a tongue scraper. Oh, that's like every man today at probably CVS.
Yeah.
You know what I want to...
Yeah. That's the retarded half of the population. What do we do now?
Move that downward.
Well, it's the truth.
That was fun. I wish everyone a very happy Valentine's Day. Huge shout out again, Miss Rockwell, for bringing all those Valentines to all the senior citizens at Renaissance Village. Another huge shout out to Melissa. I love you, girl. You're going to go places in life, Roy. What else you got?
And it's also your half birthday.
Oh, it's my half birthday!
Your half birthday of that.
I want a cake. Where's my cake? Just kidding.
And as we say,
we're gone.